They say every relationship survives on trust, but no one tells you how it feels when that trust starts slipping away. It doesn't happen overnight, it starts with laughter, with inside jokes, with someone at work who suddenly means a little too much. When my girlfriend started calling her coworker her work husband, I laughed with her. But deep down, something inside me broke. And what happened next turned that little joke into a lesson she'll never forget. I used to think loyalty was simple. You love someone, you trust them, you give them everything you can, and they do the same. But sometimes the person who promises to stand beside you is already standing too close to someone else. It started small, a laugh, a name I didn't recognize, a joke she brushed off. "Alex, you're gonna laugh," she said one evening, scrolling through her phone. "My work husband bought me lunch again today. You need to step up." She grinned like it was harmless. Like it was funny. I forced a smile back. Work husband. Cute. That's what people call it when they cross a line and try to make it sound like a joke. Lauren worked in marketing, always surrounded by meetings, inside jokes, long lunches. She loved her job. She'd talk about it for hours. But lately, every story seemed to have one name in common: Ryan. Ryan said this. Ryan did that. Ryan surprised her with coffee. At first, I didn't think much of it. We'd been together 4 years. We had our routines: Friday movie nights, lazy Sundays, morning coffees together. But little by little, she started to drift. The phone stayed face down more often. She laughed at texts she didn't share. And one night, when she got a call during dinner and walked out of the room, I felt something twist inside me, something I couldn't ignore anymore. When she came back, she said it was work. Of course it was. It's always work. I told myself not to be paranoid. I told myself to trust her. But when trust feels one-sided, it starts to rot. The next week, she mentioned Ryan again. Apparently, he'd bought her lunch every day that week. I laughed lightly, trying to sound normal. "Wow, every day. That's generous." She smirked. "Yeah, he's just a sweetheart. You could learn a thing or two." And right there, that tiny comment, that was the shift. I felt it. Something inside me went cold. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. Instead, I smiled and said, "You're right." She looked surprised, then laughed it off, thinking I was joking too. But I wasn't. That night, I sat at my desk, opened my laptop, and did something I knew would sting, not through anger, but through silence. I wrote a card. "Hey Ryan. Thanks for taking such good care of Lauren at work. It means a lot knowing she's got someone looking out for her when I can't. Lunches, coffee, laughter, sounds like you're keeping her smiling. Appreciate it, man. Alex." I slipped a $50 Starbucks gift card inside and mailed it to his office address. Attention, Ryan Miller, Marketing Department. The next few days were normal. Lauren seemed happy, chatty even. Maybe she thought everything was fine. Maybe she didn't know what was coming. Then Thursday morning hit. She came home early, pale, shaken, holding her phone like it was something dangerous. "Alex," she said, voice trembling, "did you send something to Ryan?" I looked up from the couch. "Yeah," I said calmly. "A thank you card." "Why?" Her face turned red. You sent a card to his office? With a gift card? Do you have any idea what happened?" I tilted my head, pretending to think. "No," I said. "But I'd love to hear." She started pacing. "HR called us both in. They thought we were having an inappropriate relationship. They said your note implied something romantic. I stayed quiet. Just listening. Her hands shook as she spoke. They're reviewing messages, emails, everything. Ryan's furious. His manager found out. They think we're. She stopped mid-sentence. She didn't finish that thought. I could see it in her eyes, guilt. Raw, undeniable guilt. I just thought it was funny, she whispered. It wasn't serious. We just talked sometimes, grabbed lunch. You didn't have to do that. Didn't I? I said quietly. Because from where I stood, it looked serious enough. Silence filled the room. The kind that burns. For once, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The truth was louder than anything I could have said. The next day, she didn't go to work. She stayed on the couch, scrolling through her phone with a blank stare. When I asked if she was okay, she just said, "They're investigating. Ryan might get transferred." I nodded. Guess HR takes things seriously. She looked at me like I'd stabbed her, but I hadn't. I just handed her the mirror she refused to look into. Over the next week, things got quieter between us. The laughter was gone. The spark, gone. Every conversation felt like walking through glass. One night, she finally said it. "I think we need a break." I nodded. "Yeah. We do." She moved out a week later. No drama, no shouting, no closure. Just silence. And in that silence, I found peace. It's strange how revenge doesn't always come with fire. Sometimes it's calm. Sometimes it's just letting the truth step out into the light. Months passed. I heard through a mutual friend that she quit her job. Apparently, the work husband got a quiet disciplinary note on his record, and their team went through a professional boundaries seminar. Fitting, really. I didn't gloat. I didn't text her. I just moved on, quietly, peacefully. Because the best revenge isn't anger. It's showing them you never needed them to heal. Still, sometimes late at night, I'd catch myself thinking about that stupid joke. My work husband buys me lunch every day. You need to step up. And I'd smile to myself, because in the end, I did step up. Just not in the way she expected. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I just let karma speak louder than I ever could. And in the end, she learned the hardest truth. When you play with loyalty, you lose something money can't buy, trust. If that story hit you, don't just scroll away. Hit subscribe, because every week I share true stories of betrayal, karma, and payback that'll make you feel something. Trust me, the next one might just leave you speechless.